Alright, Laura, here's a video of you rowing with some tips from me. This is my specialty, so this may get down into the weeds, but we're going to talk about efficiency. And this is a workout with wall balls and rowing, and you literally jumped onto the rowing machine, and the first thing that we're going to see is you picking the handle up to start. So we'll watch this, and then I'll give you a couple of efficiency tips, and hopefully this will be a few minutes well spent. So you just picked it up, starting to row. You're very tired. You're not fresh, so don't think that this is you giving it your 100%, but be able to give you the best tips because this is your default, right? When you're tired, you always revert back to the default. All right. So to begin, so when you first pick up the rowing, the handle, let's look from here. We'll go into slow-mo, and we can listen to a really super slow MC Hammer in the background. But as we row, there's a lot of good things that are happening. This catch position is pretty decent, right? Your shins are, they're past vertical. Ideally, I'd like them to be just vertical, but you've got a pretty decent body angle. Your arms are straight, your shoulders are down away from the ears. And then as you start to row, this is where we see a little bit of the bleeding of energy. This is kind of wasted energy. So as you row, and you start to take that stroke, that's where you finally get some tension on the handle, right? So you start pulling here, and then as you row, you can see that your body is moving, and it's really all back here. I mean, your seat barely moves, right? There's almost no leg drive. And then you finally get some tension right there. Ugh. So from here, from there to here is when you finally get some tension, and that's all wasted. So I know that you're like, well, Mark, I was really tired, but here's the reality. When you start to drive, what I'd like to see is, and I'm going to use a little line here, this body angle stays the same. So you begin to press your legs and drive the lower back. Specifically, I like to think of kind of right at the top of the hips. I like to think of driving that part where I've circled with the red circle, and then trying to keep the, there we go, I'm going to get a different color here, and then trying to keep my chest and my upper back as tall as possible. So then my legs are doing most of the work, my upper body's frozen, and I'm just transferring the energy from my legs through my upper body to the handle. And then most of my, let's see if can I clear all this stuff? Here we go. So, and then most of my tension in my upper body that I'm hanging on is actually in the lats. So if you can feel it, it's kind of the muscle right there under your armpit that goes down your side. That's what you should be hanging on, and you should also feel it back there. So as we start to drive, right, you can see that your body angle, right, when you start to drive, when you get about halfway, it really should be very little deviation, and in reality, let's get another thing, you're done with the upper body. You've basically wasted that body swing, and you've almost not used your legs at all. So from here, it's just all legs and then arms. All right? Now your finished position looks good. Yeah, and I'm really digging into the weeds here. Hopefully this is useful for you. So catch position looks good. You've wasted a lot of rowing stroke. You've got a little bit of movement here. Squeeze the elbows in. Finished position looks great. I'd like to see your toes pointed a little bit more connection with the foot stretcher. So what are we going to do? What are the next steps? Well, when we take another stroke, so let's back this up. I'll clear all this stuff. When we start to row, one of the things that I really recommend people do is actually practice with some shorter strokes. So the next time that we row, this is what I would call a full plus stroke right here. However, if you can't keep that tension the whole way, then there's really no point in going all the way up here, right? You've got to essentially grow the stroke. So, and rowers practice this a lot with pick drills. So really what I want to see is I want to see you come up to this position right here. This is now you're going to be your new catch. So your handle gets right above the little clasp there. So as you begin to row, then you can focus on keeping the upper body locked in, driving with the hips first, right? Holding that body position all the way to right about here, right? Trying to delay the body swing. And ideally, I'd like to see your body angle still be there, and then essentially, and then your legs really be more like this, right? They're kind of more. The legs have been used more than they have what you're doing right now. And then finally swing and then squeeze in. So then the sequence would be legs, swing, and arms. And a lot of the times we can see this efficiency if we look at the recovery. So I'm going to go to the, I'm going to back it up here. All right, so this is your recovery. All right, so if we go back up to the, if we go back up to the catch, this is actually what I really would like to, I take that back. The drive and the recovery are the exact opposites. So for the recovery, I'd like to see you go arms, swing the body, bring the knees up, and then in the exact opposite, I'd like to see you drive the legs, right, swing the back, and then finally pull in the arms. So, man, that was a lot. This is going to be continuous. Just let me re-summarize. All right, so the big things are, I'll clear this. So the big things are at the catch, right, there's just a lot of wasted energy or a lot of wasted movement that's not actually spinning the flywheel. So let's fix that first. And the idea is we want to get as much tension as we possibly can in the back. And then we also want to hold that back position and delay the swing. If we can do that, we're going to make our rowing that much more efficient. We're going to waste less energy. And although it's not going to make you faster per se, it's not going to be like you're running an 8-minute mile and then all of a sudden you're running a 6-minute mile. What you're going to find is you're going to spend less time on the rowing machine and you're going to spend less energy doing the same stuff, which is important. So whenever we do the open or workout or something like that, you will be less tired than someone sitting next to you, which I think is the biggest takeaway from that. So 8.5 minutes in of me rambling about rowing and all the details, and hopefully this was helpful for you. So I will see you in the gym. Ask me questions. Give me feedback. What does this mean? You got, this is too technical, but hopefully this is helpful. All right, later.